How can you be an effective technical project manager? One of the ways you can do this is by building a quarterly schedule that identifies week by week what it is that you'll build. This is a great way to get your ideas out, and we're going to go into this in detail in a little bit, but basically in a technical plan for the quarter, you can say week by week what you think will happen. This doesn't mean it will happen, but it gets the ideas flowing and makes you think about what it is that you're going to build. And this is probably one of the best ways to initially plan something out. The next thing that I would recommend is to do a weekly demo in your company. It's really easy to get lost in, I need to hit this deadline and I want to work all night, or, you kind of get caught up in the long term or the short term, but a cadence of weekly demos is one of the most effective ways to make progress and actually get things done. The key reason is that whatever you did last week is most likely what you're going to do the next week. And so it's a way of showing the progress in your building something. So if you can't demo every week, you're probably not going to hit your deadline. The other thing that I think is a really key aspect of project management is to look into the word DevOps. So DevOps is about, one of the key factors of DevOps is continuous delivery, and it's about being able to always deploy your code, or your code is always in a deployable state. And this also prevents this maybe accident of, there's all these really complex things that I haven't set up, and now I'm gonna have to rush to finish those. But if you do it from the beginning, you're gonna really set yourself up to be successful. Another key aspect is automated testing. I said this earlier, that if it's not automated, it's broken. And that's a really important way to think about testing in your project. And if you do automation from the beginning, it'll pay dividends in the future. It's a lot like investing. Another idea is when you're breaking down tickets and you're using some kind of a ticket system, is to think about things in a 4-hour to a 3-day window. Really, that's the right sweet spot to have tickets. And actually in a 1 week or 2 week cycle, you can go through and put these pieces and set up a realistic schedule. And I think that's a really effective way to communicate your progress. And you can say, I have a to-do list, I have an in progress list, and I have a done list. Keep it real simple, and then you can avoid meetings because either you're doing it or you haven't done it or it's done. And so that eliminates 80% of all meetings that you need in an organization. Another thing to think about is to not create a process that's designed to have a hero come in and save the day. This is probably one of the most toxic patterns I've seen in companies. Is they have a hero that at the last minute works overnight, does all this miraculous things, and then that's actually your process. I call it hero-driven development. And that's really long-term, not a sustainable project management philosophy. In fact, a really key question is, what happens if that hero leaves? Well, it turns out you're in big trouble, right? So it's better to have a predictable and less heroic process. And then, another way to think about this, everything I've talked about is this word Kaizen. And Kaizen is a philosophy from the Japanese automobile industry where they're trying to make things better on a daily basis. So continuous improvement. And really, this is the way to build a successful project, to build things successful in the cloud. In general, is every day, am I getting better? And how do I make things better? How do I make things faster, more high quality? And this mentality is what's going to drive you to get the best possible outcome in your project. Let me share a little bit of a story that will highlight all these key principles here. I was working at a film studio earlier in my career, a major film studio, hundreds of $millions were put into this film. And I remember it was the summer and we had a Christmas movie and we were in big trouble. I had just arrived at the company and nothing worked. And they're very worried that, hundreds of millions of dollars were going to kind of go down the drain because there was already billboards up and we couldn't get the movie done. And one of the ways that I helped solve the problem as part of a team is that we really periodically went through and just started cleaning things up. So step by step, let's do one right thing at a time. Let's get a weekly cadence. Let's get the build server automating things. Let's do some testing. And really, it's that idea of every day, I'm going to slowly chip away at the problem, make it better, and also make things into a predictable, week by week progress. that's it. That's really been the way that I've solved most problems in my career, and has solved this particular problem as well. So I think that's a key takeaway with project management is how do you build something that's predictable, like saving money in your 401k versus building these heroic scenarios where you're trying to hope that a miracle will save you. And that's really the way that you can have the most effective technical project management.